Alrighty, welcome back to Brojo Online Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about authentic sales. And that is getting in the process of selling a product or a service without having to do anything sleazy, without having to do anything dishonest or disingenuous or manipulative. Being able to sell powerfully, but without having to trick anyone into buying. So this is going to be sales without the sleaze. We're going to go through some of the principles and how they apply practically in real life. And then I'm going to give you some examples. One is going to be from my coaching business, or a service-based business that you're selling. And another is going to be from selling wine, which is something one of my clients does. And so it's very much a product-based kind of service. So that way we're going to get an example of how this applies both to a product and a service, and in quite different fields. So if this stuff really does work, it should be able to apply across the board. Now, first and foremost, I've got to get something out of the way. This doesn't apply to anyone who's selling something that they know is shit. Alright, if the service or product you're selling is not something you believe in, it's not something you value, not something you'd buy yourself, not something you think improves the lives of other people, you're just doing it to make money, sign out now, because this isn't for you. Okay, this is for people selling shit that they know that their clients really do appreciate, really do value, their life improves from it. Even if you don't personally get into it, you know the clients do. This is for you guys, okay? This isn't Wolf of Wall Street shit where you're just selling like penny stocks or whatever, okay? Or some junk that you find online and, ship over from China and sell to somebody in America and it breaks in 2 weeks. We're not talking about that sort of stuff here, okay? It has to be the good shit. You just want to sell it right. You don't want to feel disgusting doing it. You don't want to feel weird and inauthentic doing it. You know it's good stuff, but sometimes when you go to sell it, you feel like you have to use tactics. Maybe even the company you work for forces you or tries to force you to use certain strategies and tactics and ways of speaking that you're just not comfortable with. And you wish that there was a better, more authentic, more genuine way. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Here's the mindset. This is the number one thing to sort of keep with you all the way through the process at any given time. You've got to act as if you're sold out. Okay. And I don't mean trying to pretend you're something that you're not. But an understanding that it's the person who's sold out who does the best with sales. Because they don't need anything. There's no neediness in the sold out person. When they go to sell something, they're doing it as a gift to the person. Because they don't need to be doing it. They don't need this money. They don't need this client. They just believe in the product or the service so much that they're willing to go beyond the sold out, booked out nature of their life to help another person. If you can tap into that kind of energy when you're working in sales, then they're going to feel it. And that will be more important than any of the specific things I talk about today. It's the sold out person who's the easiest to talk to, the most comfortable to buy from. All those things that the marketing gurus teach as tactics, like creating scarcity and all that bullshit that you use to manipulate people. They've all taken that from people who didn't need tactics and strategies. They've tried to kind of weaponize and pathologize a very natural thing that occurs when you're being genuine and you're abundant. Okay. I saw a lot of this. It's similar with the pickup artist industry. They essentially tried to photocopy guys who were natural with women and just copy and repeat the things that these guys were doing without realizing the guy's doing it spontaneously. He's doing it from a genuine giving place. He's not needy. So it's not really a tactic. You're just taking something, turning it into a tactic. And that's why it barely works for you. It's the same with sales, all those marketing strategies and stuff. That's all neediness being injected into something that occurs naturally when you're doing it right. So we want to get into the place where we don't need this person to buy. Okay, and we can't pretend to be there. We have to really get there. And what I'm going to be sort of teaching today is how to get there, because that is the best place long term for your business. So the coaching example version of that is literally being sold out. You have all your coaching appointments booked from here into the indefinite future. You've booked everyone for at least a year or you've got such a great history with your clients that you know that they're just going to keep rolling over with more and more coaching. They've got a pattern of doing this. And if you're a wine salesman, this means you have a pipeline of big ticket buyers who come to you every month for a nice big wine sale, and it's now become effortless. You just flick them through the wine. You don't even need to put any effort into creating new clients. You just got this kind of inner circle of wine buyers, and you just spend your time socializing with them essentially, and they will buy without any prompting. That's the mindset of someone who's good with sales. They're already good with sales, that's why they're like that. But we want to get there before needing to be good with sales. Okay. The second main principle that really differs from all the internet bullshit you're going to learn out there about how to sell is it's about long-term relationships, not one-off sales. When you're looking at somebody who they would call a prospect or a lead, you've got to see them as a potential connection. That's what they are. They might not buy from you for 5 years, but you're still going to build a relationship with them. They might never buy from you. You're still going to build a relationship with them. They might be the best client you've ever had. You're not going to treat them any differently, at least at the start, than you would anybody else. You're just here to build relationships. So in the coaching world, what this looks like is continuous contact with people who are essentially your friends. Except you're serving them and creating value in their life, and we're going to talk more about that today. And at no point are you really trying to sell them anything. You'll make them aware of new services or offers as they come up because you want them to be in on it first, right? You could find somebody else, but you want to make sure your friends get the first opportunity. If I'm a wine merchant, it means I'm on the phone all the time to my best wine buyers. We're talking about wine. I'm letting them know that there's a new tasting happening on etc. Island, and we should get a group of people together and go check it out. We're wine enthusiasts hanging out together, discussing things together, and at random occasions they buy from me as well. Okay, it's all about the relationship. The sales is just part of the relationship. It's no different to having a relationship with a friend and sometimes they cook you dinner. You're going to have a relationship with your clients and sometimes they're going to buy from you. That's how it's going to work, and that's how it needs to be seen. Relationship first, sales second, not the other way around. And by the way, this is just more enjoyable. Really, if you're going to be in this business, whatever it is, for long term, if you're going to be selling something long term, that's all a business is selling something. Don't you want to enjoy it? Don't you want to like your clients and customers? Wouldn't it be nice if they liked you too? Wouldn't you rather this be a social experience rather than some needy taking experience? It doesn't have to be that. You can actually be in a position, this is where I really am, where I have a bunch of friends who I sometimes coach, and they put money in my bank account, and I use that to take care of my family. That's how it works. Sales is a weird word for me even, because I don't really sell anything. Right? I used to. I've changed a lot over the years since I started this business. But now I just communicate with friends, and sometimes they pay me for coaching. That's the nature of my job now, and I highly recommend it. It's so much better than getting on the computer or getting on the phone every day and going, fuck, I've got to make my, sales quota or whatever. God, it's a horrible way to live. It's a horrible way to work. Why would you want that? Right? Unless you're a psychopath who just likes numbers or whatever, right? I'm not dissing anyone here. I'm just saying, you don't have to see people as numbers. It's old school thinking. It's ineffective thinking. If you see them as friends, as relationships, as people, even if they got to a point where they could no longer buy from you, they hit some sort of limit, and you still want to go and have dinner with them, isn't that the better way to live? Well, that's what I'm going to be teaching today. Next principle. Every contact should be beneficial to them. Whether it's a quick email or a text or a phone call or a full-on coaching session or a seminar, but especially focus on the little things, the little touch points, getting in touch with someone, following up with them. Make sure, if nothing else, that before you go through with it or before you send the message or whatever it is, you go, how do I make sure that their life is better after this than it was before? That's it. It doesn't even have to be much better. It'll be 0.1%. We want to get to the point that if somebody gets an email from you, they're excited to open it because it's always good. It's always something that at least attempts to make their life better. They always receive something from you, right? They never have to go, oh God, I don't want to open this message. He's going to be trying to get something from me. You never want them to be thinking like that for a long-term, successful, authentic sales business. You want them to be thinking like, come on, message me. You want them to be excited like you're one of the few phone calls that they would actually pick up, right? So in order to do that, you have to develop a pattern with them, a reputation, which is every time I serve them. And this isn't a tactic like, and then they'll buy stuff from me. This is actually for you. This is so you can enjoy your life, so that you are a beneficial, valuable person. Alright, so that even if someone doesn't buy, you provided, right? You contributed. You were valuable. This is so even after a day of like low sales, you go home and you still feel good about yourself. It just so happens they're going to benefit as well, and it just so happens they're more likely to buy stuff when you're like this. So everybody wins without any values or integrity being compromised. Why wouldn't you choose to do it that way? You can think of it as your service or your product is like an arbitrary line where the level of effort you put in needs to be charged for. Right? So I might contact people by email, send them videos, that kind of thing. And at some point, coaching, I really need to charge them money because it's quite intensive use of my time at this point. Okay, that's a line I'm going to draw. I don't mind flicking them a quick email. I don't mind sending them a voice recording. I don't mind chucking them a link to my course, which they can get for free, or a copy of my book. But once they want to really go into a topic, that's when they're going to get charged. And not even the first time. We'll go into that later. But you need to decide there's going to be an arbitrary line. That's where I'll start charging money. And everything before that is freely given. That's it. But it's all on a spectrum of giving. It's not like this is marketing stuff and this is sales. It's all giving, and at some point you charge money because you got to eat. That's how you see it. There is no marketing. There's just giving. That's all. So if I'm a wine merchant, I might call people and send them recommendations for wine. I might send them funny wine-related memes if they're like a friendly type person. I might let them know, hey, there's a tasting event coming up down the road from you. I thought of you immediately. It's in your area. And I might also go, by the way, I got a batch of that latest Sauvignon Blanc that you love. Let me know if you want some of it. That's the bit where I'll have to charge you money because it's wine. So there's going to be a line. But at any point, I'm just thinking, how do I serve this person? I want them to think, especially a wine lover, when I get emails from Dan, it's going to be stuff that I'm interested in, stuff that helps me, stuff that I want to read, stuff that I want to stop working and procrastinate by doing this instead. If you have this consistency of doing that, everything is service. Doesn't mean everything is about making them feel good. Like in coaching, sometimes service is making them feel bad, challenging them, confronting them. But it's always about like, how do I make their life better? Always about that. It also helps them want to see the next level examples. I give someone my book. It's 6 hours of reading. I give someone my course. It's 3 hours of video. I send them podcasts. I've got hundreds and maybe thousands of hours of podcasts. They get all of that for free. They're going to think, man, what's coaching like? If this is the free stuff, what the fuck's the paid stuff like? And they're right to think that because the coaching is infinitely better than the free stuff I send them, but the free stuff is good too. And you want that to be the case where like the stuff they get from you for free is so valuable they'll be thinking, man, the stuff he charged for must be the shit. And it should be. You want to make sure that it is. Deliver high quality services and product. Don't muck around in shit. If you don't believe in the thing you're selling, move on, sell something else. Another principle to help you with neediness, because that's what this is really about, getting the neediness out of giving to people and serving them and charging money to do so. It doesn't have to be this guy, it doesn't have to be this time. Always keep that in mind. That pressure we put on ourselves when there's a prospect in front of us. Like, I have to sign up this guy, I have to sell this guy some shit. No, you don't. It doesn't have to be this guy. And even if it is this guy, it doesn't have to be this time. You know it's got to be somebody sometime, right? If you've got to eat, you've got to make some sales with some people at some point. But when you've got someone in front of you, you're communicating with them in some way, online, in person, on the phone, whatever. At that point in time, nothing needs to be sold. Okay, it doesn't have to be this time. So you can kind of be honest with yourself. Yeah, I do want to make some sales, obviously. I want to live. It's my job. So you don't have to deny that. You don't have to pretend you don't have some neediness or some wanting there. But you can take it away from the individual interaction in front of you. Never has to be the one in front of you, ever. And that's the truth. If you're in a long-term sales type business, service or product, you don't have to make any one particular sale. All right. If you're in a business where one sale actually matters and there's life or death for your business, you're in a bad business. That's a terrible way to do business. You want to make sure that lots of clients prop you up. Not it all hinges on one person saying yes. It's a horrible way to do business, right? So you've got to treat it like that. Look, if this guy says no, it's okay. As long as some guy says yes at some point. And then when the guys in front of you go, okay, it doesn't have to be this guy. Let it go. Let's just serve this guy. I don't know which one it's going to be. Let's say out of 100 people you serve, 20 of them become clients. You don't know who the 20 are going to be. So just serve them all and eventually you'll hit your 20, right? Don't treat it like this guy's got to be one of the 20. No, he doesn't. In fact, he's more likely not to be. If you're in a business where you're selling really high quality stuff, especially if it's highly priced like my coaching, you're going to get more no's than yeses, or at least not right nows, right? So for me to get all anxious about this particular guy signing up is statistically stupid. He's more likely not to than to. And that's okay. I need to get used to no's. Yeses should be a nice surprise. Like, oh shit, he's actually going to buy some. Nice, right? The rest of the time it's like, it's going to be a no, but I'm going to serve him anyway. If you get into that kind of attitude, you're actually going to get more yeses. Already I've given the example. If I'm a coach, I've got someone in front of me for their free session. We'll talk about that a bit more later. I'm like, I might never see this guy again. This is coaching practice. I'm going to coach him like he's already a super high paying client. But I might never see him again. In fact, statistically speaking, he's probably not going to become a long-term client. Shit, I might not even want to work with him. So I can just let all that go, the selling of this. Either my coaching will be so awesome and our connection so great that we both want to continue, or it won't be. At least not right now. I don't need to do anything extra here. I just coach and the answer will reveal itself. This person's either right to work with me right now or they're not. I don't need to try and find that answer. It's really no different for selling wine or selling any product. This guy either wants to buy high quality wine right now or he doesn't. You're not going to try to make him want something he doesn't want. It's no good for the long-term relationship that you have with him. Right? Just serve and he'll either buy or he won't. The next principle is you've got to follow the heat. And what we mean by this is you want to spend more time and more effort and more energy on the more responsive people, the hotter people. So while before I said something sounded a bit contradictory about giving everyone equal kind of service, what I mean by that is at the start you treat everyone as equals, but you don't continue to do so. Some of them are going to be more worth your time and effort than others. And this isn't just about sales, but that is a big part of it. Because your ideal client is someone who's a high-paying client, but they're also great to work with. They're somebody you like personally, somebody you enjoy working with or selling to or interacting with. And you want both of those elements present in the ideal client. It's not an ideal client if they're not buying stuff. Right? That's just might be an ideal person, a friend, but in business, they've got to have both. So when what you're looking for is somebody who's highly likely to buy and highly likely to be enjoyable to work with. You want both, and they're equally valuable, but in terms of business, the paying is the kind of non-negotiable one. So when you're interacting with someone, and you'll learn this better as time goes on, some of them are more responsive and more worth your time. They get back to you quicker, they're more enthusiastic, they escalate from the free stuff to the paid stuff quicker, they're less hassle to work with, they're less likely to complain, they're less difficult. We're going to talk a bit more about qualifying later. But you've got to be really careful. The people who want to take up the most of your time are often not ideal clients. Okay, there's a lot of time-consuming type people that you need to avoid and not give as much energy to. We'll talk a bit more about that later. But the example would be, say, in the coaching world, is I put out a video and somebody comments on it saying, wow, this is the greatest video I've ever watched. They're the first person I'm contacting today. I'm not going to go contact some random person, right? I'm going to go for the person who's hot, the person who responded. If I'm emailing 5 people and one of them's getting back to me every 10 minutes, another one takes 3 days to get back to me, another one doesn't get back to me at all, they're not going to be treated equally. The guy getting back to me quickly, I'm going to get back to him quickly as well. Okay? And this would be the same in the wine business. The person who's enthusiastic and responsive and gets back to you quicker and is enjoyable to communicate with and shows a lot of interest and has a history with wine that shows that they're really interested in wine, they're the person I'm contacting first thing. They're the person I'm going to contact more often than others. I might be in touch with this person 5 times a day, and another person I might be in touch with once every 6 months, right? So I don't give myself equally to everyone.